So Bard has been updated with Gemini Pro functionality, I believe.
Whatever that means. So now they have Google DeepMind,
yes,
Google Bard, and Google
yes,
Gemini.
Yes.
Well, what's going on here with the branding, Google? Tell me what I'm supposed. Explain to the audience the difference between those three things, just so we can level set here.
Okay. Well, DeepMind and Brain were two independent teams inside of Google that have been merged into a single team.
That's now called DeepMind.
DeepMind.
DeepMind is the remaining brand. That's their AI team.
That's their AI team now. And
that's like saying, that's equivalent of saying OpenAI.
It's equivalent of saying OpenAI. Yes, correct. And historically, those two teams had different approaches and they came from different worlds. DeepMind was an acquisition that Google did years ago that actually led to some of the fallout between Elon Musk and some of the Google founders.
Yep.
And, some of the key folks that were involved in the drama with OpenAI this week, Ilya in particular, was a DeepMind person that was recruited out to come to OpenAI. So it's very kind of some important details. Those two teams now have created a new model, a multimodal model. We've started talking about these. We've used them. And that model is called Gemini. And Gemini comes in 3 different versions. And those 3 different versions basically are different size parameters, which have different capabilities. And Pro, which is the middle size model, is now available for use inside of Bard. And on an API level, it's going to become available on Wednesday. So if you're working with Google Cloud, you can use it as an API, like so the same way you can build things on top of OpenAI and ChatGPT and GPTs. And then Ultra, which is the kind of the most advanced model, they said will be available in early 2024. Okay, does that help?
Yes. We have the DeepMind team. That's the group inside of Google. The consumer product is called Bard.
Bard.
Now, Bard is a way for them to say, hey, this isn't Google search. This is a different experimental product. It's going to hallucinate. Click here to understand you shouldn't base your medical decisions or financial decisions based on Bard. Bard's an experiment. Then Bard uses an underlying technology called Gemini. Gemini comes in 3 flavors. Nano, Pro,
Ultra. Yes.
So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 brands. This is the message to Sundar. We've talked about this, you and I.
Okay.
Branding at Google is challenging. It's challenging. You call it Google Bard. A much better idea would have been to take the YouTube approach and just call it Bard and get the domain name bard.com and let people go to bard.com and have a completely unique verticalized experience without the Google branding.
Yeah.
And then nobody needs to know about DeepMind. Nobody needs to know about Gemini. It's just Bard.
Yeah.
And Bard is a new product from Google.
Yeah.
The end.
Well, Microsoft nailed this too with the naming Copilot, which, we had a little private chat where we were sharing some names and ideas and we said, Copilot is the way to go.
It's the simplest and nobody can own that. So Google Copilot would have been a better name for this. They just call it Copilot. But you know what? Google's strength is in the underlying technology.
Yes.
Their weakness is in branding and often in UX. And the problem I have with Bard right now is there's no app, right? There's no Google Bard app. And the interface is just, I don't want to say it's terrible, but it's like I'd say the UI is like a 5 of 10. And I feel like ChatGPT is like an 8.5.
Yeah. Well, now, can I say one thing not to Google's defense, but very similar in branding and naming? We have OpenAI, we have ChatGPT, and we have GPT 3.5, GPT-4, GPT-4V.
Sure.
So they've kind of taken the same flavor.
Consumers, but they didn't have a legacy brand of Google, right?
They didn't.
So there is no legacy.
Correct.
And so they can start from a little bit of a cleaner position. People know ChatGPT. They don't really know OpenAI. No, they really don't care about the version numbers. You just search for ChatGPT. This is why Google, you should just search for Bard. And then all they should say is Bard lets you do this. You can use Bard for this. You can use Bard for that. And then, when you go to the dev day, they can talk about all the underpinnings. But the consumer should just experience Bard. And Bard should have a logo. And it should be bard.com. This is why Google Plus failed. I don't know why Google keeps doing the same mistake. which is putting things as like a subtopic under the word Google. YouTube is your biggest success. It is an independent, strong brand with its own domain name. Google Plus got lost because it was plus.google.com. It should have just been called plus.com. And you went to plus.com and you had that experience.
Yeah. Fascinating.
So here ends the branding lesson. You have to get this right, Google. Please.
Maybe a better name than Bard too. Because like no one knows what a Bard is.
I mean, yes, I agree. I mean, they should have just bought chat.com. I would have just bought chat.com. And you know who bought it? Dharmesh. I think bought it for $1 million over at HubSpot. Yes. And the huge mistake.
Wow. Oh my God. I mean, for Google, that's like 1 millisecond of search. Can you imagine
if they just had chat.com and it'd be like, hey, if you want to chat, go there. Or AIchat.com or AI.com.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, there's so many different ways to do this, folks. But the way Google does it is always a mistake. There's no branding person there. And Nest had a great branding team. And then you screwed it by having the Google team shoehorn it into and break it into Google Home. There should be a 5-alarm fire. Actually, you know what? This is a Sergey thing. Sergey, find somebody who you trust, who's your Johnny Ive. I heard Sergey's in there writing the code, right?
Yeah.
Sergey needs a Johnny Ive.
He was the one that pushed for the release, apparently.
Oh, really? Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
hey, we've got to put this out.
I like Sergey after dark. I like
billionaires writing code. We have Chamath and we have Sergey.
I love it. Samurai Sergey. I mean, he's worth $100 billion. He's writing code. I have so much respect for Samurai Sergey.
Ooh, I like
Samurai Sergey.
Like
he's in the game.
Oh yeah.
But this is a message. Awesome. Somebody send this message to Samurai Sergey. I know him. Jake Howe.
Okay.
Samurai Sergey, please hire your Johnny Ive. Find a branding person. And stop taking Google's innovations and wrapping them in bad UX. This is a place to invest. Like literally just find 10 great designers, put them in a room. Don't let anybody near them.
Well, I think Johnny Ive has a studio now. He could just acquire it.
Yes, go give Johnny Ive $1 billion and have him come in for 10 hours a week. He'll do a better job than the Google team. No offense, all respect to the Google team.
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of work for like Silicon Valley companies, like a little bit of a design studio. Yeah, design studio. Just buy them.
If your landing page looks terrible, I'm out. We all know that. You see an ugly website, you skedaddle. You leave. You're done. So you need to stop settling for okay or good and start using Squarespace so you can be excellent and extraordinary. It's an out-of-the-box business solution to build beautiful websites, engage your audience, and sell anything you want. You know Squarespace's amazing features, gorgeous templates that are always optimized for mobile, drag and drop web design with their Fluid engine, advanced analytics, marketing analysis, sales data, and more. And with Squarespace, you can create an online store or start a blog at the click of a button, create a subscription business for members-only content, and so much more. And you can do this all simultaneously. It's the simplest, most effective, and best-looking way to start a business online. So here's your call to action, squarespace.com/twist for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/twist for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.